Hey everybody, how's it going? It's PsyDoug once again, and this is my second video in the Denoobified Starcraft 2 series I'm doing, where I will be attempting to go from being a shitty Starcraft player to being a not-so-shitty Starcraft player. Before I get started on the match, I wanted to give a shout-out to my very first subscriber, Sudden Skies. Thank you so much for subscribing. This is a brand new channel, so gotta give a shout out where shout outs are due. And I'm actually going to try to keep doing that as more subscriptions roll in, guys. My first goal is going to be 100 subscribers. So if you like the concept, which is better explained in the first video, but just so you know, the idea here is I don't know what I'm doing. I am trying to learn what I'm doing. I am deconstructing my replays on video here. If this is the kind of thing that interests you, please do subscribe if you like the video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. But yeah, Sudden Skies, thank you very much for subscribing. So this is a video where I lose in this one. I'm not proud of it. This game does not go well. I've actually had a couple of games like this, which is why I chose to post this one, because this is one of those games where I really didn't have to lose. And I guess you could make that argument for any game you play in a game like this. You never really have to lose. If you made the right decisions, you wouldn't have lost. But this is one where, after I quit out of the game, and I think I did GG a little bit early, after I quit out, it suddenly did occur to me that I had all of these possibilities before me of decisions I could have made that would have been much better than the ones I actually did make. And this is a Terran versus Terran match. Here's my opponent right here. As you can see, I mean, for the first part of the match, we're kind of matching up pretty well. He's got his first barracks. I've got my first barracks. And we stay pretty evenly matched as far as, like, where we are in production. At least that's what it looks like to me. Right up until I start making some pretty bad decisions. But the reason I wanted to show this match just was because I mean, anytime I'm watching a replay or thinking about what I did in the last match, and I find that I have some things to say, that sounds to me like a pretty good video to do. So just to talk a little bit about what I do in just about every match, I have been consistently walling off my base like this, and I've watched some videos and read some things where people seem to think this is not necessarily the best decision to do all the time. I do it every time, though, just because I've had too many bad experiences with people moving things into my base early on and kind of harassing me, and it just seems like the right thing to do. If you know of any reason why you should, and I'm sorry I keep speeding up and slowing down the match, you guys. I'll get a feel for how this goes as the series progresses. But basically, my build is the strongest for the first few minutes of the game, because what I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going to be doing. I should say, for the first part of the game. I know that at 9 supply, as my 10th SCV is building, as soon as I have enough money, I pull an SCV off the mineral line and build a supply depot. After that, I send that SCV out to scouts, build more SCVs. At 11 or 12 supply, I build my first barracks and start the wall off. I then queue that SCV to build the supply depot. And then usually as the barracks is building, I try to build a refinery, because I want to be able to get the reactor on my first barracks as soon as possible, so I can start building more Marines. And guys, just so you know, what I'm going to try to do here is I really want to explain my thinking in detail, so you guys know what I'm thinking, whether it's right or wrong. I'm going to talk about these things like I know what I'm talking about, but that does not mean I'm right. I'm just explaining my thinking, explaining the reasoning behind what I'm doing. And there isn't always very strong reasoning, so usually after I've got the barracks and the refinery, that's where my build kind of falls apart. I try to get the orbital command as soon as my barracks is finished. Sometimes I kind of falter on that. And then from that point on, I'm just trying to keep up with making sure I have the right amount of supply. And I'm kind of unclear as to whether I should build a engineering bay or a factory first. So obviously you need the factory so you can build the starport, so you can build the medevacs for your Marine Marauders. But the engineering bay is important because you can't build turrets within the engineering bay. And at this level of play anyway, it seems like turrets are going to be pretty important because I've got a lot of... I've played a lot of games where people are moving air units back behind my mineral line and just destroying the SCVs, especially when I'm playing Protoss, but also when I'm playing Zerg. Not so much when I'm playing Terran, but I definitely see that a lot with Protoss and Zerg. You don't see me doing that in this match. I feel fairly safe not building too many turrets when I'm playing against Terran, because you know it's going to take them a while to get their air units out. That doesn't mean I shouldn't be building any turrets, but in this game, I really don't. But yeah, so I'm not... The point of what I was saying is I'm not sure whether I should be building the factory first, and then the starport, and then an engineering bay, or maybe a factory first, and then an engineering bay, then the starport, or just the engineering bay first. I don't know. I don't know. These are the things I'm not quite sure about. But either way, in this game, I end up building a three barracks, an engineering bay, and a factory. And I've got this modest group of Marines and Marauders out here. I think at some point I had scanned this guy's base, and I was feeling fairly confident I was going to be able to do some damage with a small group of units. That ends up not being the case. I think actually what I'm trying to do here is move my units out in front of this expansion I'm building. I've been trying to expand a little earlier. That's another thing I'm unclear on, is like, when do you expand? In this game, I build some units, move them in front, build an expansion. So far, so good. Things are going well. I haven't been attacked yet. My expansion is coming up ahead of this guy's. Let's go ahead and speed up the game from this point. So, things are going to go horribly wrong here. I've got, like I said, a modest group of units. I'm continuing to build more, although probably more than I should be. I've started building siege tanks. And usually with my first factory, I build a tech plat because I want to be able to build those siege tanks. And I don't know if that's the right decision, but I think that my thinking here with these two starports was, I believe I had scanned this base and hadn't seen any air defense. So I was thinking, okay, fine, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'll build some starports. And I'm going to send these units out because I think he's got nothing. Turns out he's actually been building turrets like crazy. And those, before we finish talking about it, those Banshees are gone. And so I start to panic here. As I'm looking at the base and I see the defense he's got going on, I am starting to panic. So I'm thinking, fuck it, I'll send my group of stuff here. And this might be one of those situations where I let my medevacs get destroyed. I'm having a hard time managing my medevacs and the medevacs have an annoying tendency to get ahead of your army because they're faster, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and... so I lose a bunch of units. I'm going to go ahead and try and regroup my force over here. I think it was probably smart for me to move them back off. It would have been smarter for me to not move them in the first place. And so I'm continuing to look at his base, and I'm seeing that he has all of this stuff going on. And as you can see, he's spent a bunch of money on turrets. And he's got this whole wall of siege tanks going on. He's got a bunker. He's got all kinds of bunkers. He's got a great defense going on here. But let's slow down the game because this is kind of an important part for this. These two expansions that we're looking at here, I did not notice these. I did not scan for them. I did not look for them at all during the match because I got tunnel vision. I was so concerned about this. What we're seeing right here, and actually looking at it, he really doesn't have a great force going on. He's got a good defense, but he's really not in any kind of position to attack. That's what it looks like to me anyway. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And here he's moving a huge group of SCVs. Not huge, I'm sorry. That's exaggerating. He's moving a pretty big group of SCVs to his expansion here. And both these expansions are completely undefended. He's spent you know, at least 800 minerals here. Well, he's going to spend more. And here I am moving my my army that's more expensive than these 2 expansions towards his pretty stellar defense here. And by stellar, I don't necessarily mean that he's building his defense the right way, but it's overwhelming enough that, you know, I mean, what I'm going to move into his base is not going to do anything. But I'm so convinced that I need to destroy this, I'm not thinking about the rest of the game. And I think this is where, or the rest of the map, I should say. And I think this is where I really went wrong. And of course, as you're going to see towards the end of the match, after I've lost my entire army to his defense, I start scanning these areas, and the first place I scan is this base here, and I end up finding it. But I GG out of the game. Like I said, so let me talk briefly before this game ends about what I think I should have done. My view is that what I should have done, instead of moving my, like, this is probably, I mean, I think this is probably good containment. He can't, at least for this side, he can't really move any of his troops because I've got these, siege tanks. I got my force up here, but I'm going to move all that shit in and get it destroyed. Here I'm moving, a bunch of Thors in. So I have a decent army. I don't know if it's I don't know that it's good army composition. It's probably not. But I could have done a lot of damage with what I have here had I been scanning. Scanning is if I found these. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. What I think I should have done is destroy these expansions. And then attempt to expand closer to my base, because I'm not really sure why he didn't choose to expand here and here instead of over here and here. If I had destroyed those while expanding myself closer to where I could easily defend it, and then eventually expand out into these places where he's tried to expand, I think I could have contained him. I should have been focusing on map control, is what I'm trying to say. And then I think I probably could have taken this guy. Let me know what your thoughts are. It looks like the match is about to end here. I'll go ahead and speed it up, because there's not much happens here. Basically, I end up scanning this, seeing that he's got expansions, and I just kind of rage quit. But it was immediately after I had played this match that I started thinking, I probably could have won this one had I been doing things in the right order, and had I been paying more attention to the match instead of getting tunnel vision and focusing. There I am right now scanning, and I leave. But yeah, that's my basic analysis. I should have focused a little bit less on his main base, because there wasn't really much I was going to be able to do here. But if I had, at least for the moment, but if I had just taken out these expansions and caused him to lose all this resources he had spent building them, because they're not very well defended, and then and he doesn't have a great force, and then kind of moved in to contain him, I think I may have won this match. Let me know what you think, guys. Once again, my name is PsyDoug. It was a pleasure. I will see you guys next time.